A lot has changed from the last time I made my video months ago. I think I made it in like October or something. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mariah Cross. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, originally from New London, Ohio. I changed jobs, and today, till this day, I now have 3 jobs instead of 2. I'm a cleaning tech at a factory. I'm a cleaning tech for Comcast, and I work at the Children's Museum. I have dealt with so much over the past several months. You know, having to dump money in my car, and I had to pay taxes this year, and that was fun. And it's just, you know, grinding, you know, going to work, going home, going to work, going home. It's just, it has really done a number on me mentally and everything and stuff. I mean, I'm very grateful. You know, I'm very blessed of the fact that God has blessed me with the work of my hands, but like at the same time, it gets so overwhelming, especially when sometimes you feel like you are doing this all alone. But I'm, you know, if it wasn't for my support and stuff, I would not be here. You know, don't get me wrong, but I have to pave the rest of the way myself, and it's scary sometimes. I don't have my parents. I don't have, like, you know, people to help me like these kids have, you know, because this school, like when I said the school is expensive, it's expensive, and I'll do whatever it takes to make it work. And the fact that I strategically made sure that everything is funded, you know, making sure I got money and making sure like I survived a whole entire year, have an emergency fund and all this stuff. Like the fact that like I was able to break everything down and put everything aside. I gotta say, I am really proud of myself, and I'm happy of how far I've come, you know, and this is only the beginning. This is gonna be one of the hardest, best choices of my life. Another crossroads, I guess I could say. I can't be thankful enough of the amount of strides I've taken in my life. The night and day, how it was like a few years ago, you know, me having nothing in my name, and don't get me wrong, I'm putting everything in this, you know, going to this school, but like I'm invested in myself for once in my life. I'm focusing on me for once, and it's been years since I've done that. And the fact that like this is actually happening, I'm gonna be moving to New York City. I still can't wrap my head around it. I still cry about it sometimes. Again, I like making these videos because it kind of helps me and it helps me vent. And like I said before, if it helps somebody out there, you know, cool. Because at the end of the day, if you want to chase a dream and stuff, you have to make sacrifices. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes, and you have to be willing to fail sometimes along the way, because a lot of these people who are successful has failed. You know, there is not one person who is, as far as I know, who is successful that has never failed. I've never met anybody who's never failed or made a mistake along the way. And the fact that I get this opportunity to make my life better than what it is, so I can help people down the road and, you know, try to pay it forward in a sense. When I get to that position to where I can pay it forward and help people out there, oh my gosh, that would be a dream come true, and it's gonna happen. Seems like it's getting close to that time. It's May 24th, and I'm slowly packing all my stuff. I already got some of my stuff delivered at my brother's house. Now I got the stuff that I need for my dorm. I got everything situated. I got the rental reserved. I got my stuff separated and everything. And it's starting to hit me. I cannot believe it's almost going to be June. I already got my letters of resignations from 3 of my jobs. Since I'm going to be zero income, I thought I could take advantage of the Medicaid, you know, to make sure I have health insurance so I don't have to go out of pocket for it. Since I'll be a full-time student, I'll be eligible and might as well take advantage of the benefits and stuff. This is definitely gonna be a life changer here. I mean, I'm coming back to Pittsburgh, don't get me wrong and everything. It's just that this is something I've been wanting for years, actually. Especially since I came to Pittsburgh 3 years ago with nothing but maybe like $50 in my pocket. And now I really settled here, and I love the people here, and I got on my feet, car, apartment. I actually got a savings and stuff, whatever's left of it after I graduate. But the fact that I'm leaving my friends and my family once again because of a dream, it is scary, but that's just who I am. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to bring back so much. When I graduate, I definitely want to come back to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a lot of great opportunities too, and just see what happens from there. I have a ton of classes. I'm gonna be having classes like 5-6 days a week, which is understandable, but like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, every single day. Besides musical theater, it's history, music business, and dance, tap, ballet, all that stuff. It's gonna be a lot of things that I have to tap in that I haven't tapped in years. Luckily, I can move a little bit. Thank you, Andy Bose. She was my old my old dance teacher when I was in high school, and she put up with all my shenanigans and all my goofiness. And I'm looking back like, man, if I would have paid more attention in class, I mean, don't get me wrong, I can move around all right, but like I'm not no dancer or pop, lock, and drop it type of thing. But I'm grateful. At least I had a little bit of art when I was in school. I was in ballet for like 14 years or something, 14 to 15 years, and I did jazz dance, and I've never done tap, and that's one of the classes that I have to do is tap dancing. But I got my tapping shoes, so this is gonna be fun, yeah. but yeah, I'm so grateful, and I feel like I have a huge advantage here. Yes, I'm 39, but like I already know what I want, and I experienced life, and there's a lot of these kids that are coming in that are 17, 18, 19 years old that never really fully experienced life yet, and I feel like in a way I have an advantage. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying. I'm just saying for myself, being the best version of myself. I feel like the healthier I am, the best version that I am, it would open many doors, and I am not no 6-foot blonde or anything like that, and I'm not a perfect singer, nowhere near. But my work ethic, the things that I experienced and all that, it's just, since I'm wired different, I just feel like I have an advantage for myself that would definitely open a door or two for opportunities. And I know there are people out there are companies out there that are looking for something different, something new. Yes, something fresh, but something that's not a stereotype or something that I just feel like I can bring that to the table. Yeah, but it's just a matter of your dedication and stuff. You gotta have discipline, and this is gonna be a very, very, very hard road. It's one of those. This is a business and industry that you gotta. You no matter how many no's you are told, you gotta keep pushing forward. You will hear like 100,000 no's before you get that one yes that will change your life. And I'm one of those people who are very stubborn, and I will continue to pursue whatever to hear that yes, whether if it is singing jazz and blues, which I love, or an opportunity to perform um, a Broadway number on stage, or acting, or a voiceover, even a freaking commercial, I'd be happy with that, you know. But like, it's like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be one of the most difficult experiences of my life, and you go hard or go home. That's the thing. And you gotta have a huge backbone in this type of industry. You have to be comfortable of being uncomfortable. That's the biggest thing. And you gotta have a good head on your shoulders when it comes to this. And I learned the hard way, because I came to Texas green. I was green, and I thought somebody had my best interest, and it turned out to be a game, like a situation of being manipulated and brainwashed and all that stuff. Because like, if you don't have a good head on your shoulders, if you don't know who is trying to scheme and who's doing this and who's doing that, it is going to swallow you up. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to swallow you up if you don't know how to differentiate the difference between somebody actually helping you or somebody that actually wants to help themselves by manipulating you and not caring what will happen to you in the end. Because that happens so much in the industry, so freaking much. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to be a celebrity. I just know for myself that there is something out there that would help me have a career to where I could do what I love for the rest of my life and be financially content. That's all I want out of this, and I want to be in a financial position to help people, to bless people, create a company that can guide someone in the right direction and everything. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm going to this school. It's about networking. It's about, not only knowing right from wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to make mistakes along the way. Even leaders make mistakes. So it's just, you gotta go with your gut. You gotta trust your gut, because it's ruthless out there, very ruthless, and somebody could wrap something, a great opportunity, in a pretty bow, and it ends up a complete nightmare. And so you have to be very careful who you trust. You have to be very careful of not being taken advantage of to a point where it will destroy you. So that's the biggest thing about this. When I was in Texas, the things that I've seen, the things that I have experienced have molded me into somebody that has that eye when it comes to knowing if somebody's going to take advantage of you or not. I'm not saying that, like, being in Texas, I've learned a lot. I've learned so much being in Texas and stuff. I learned a lot from people down there, good and bad. Even though I've experienced so much to where I had to tear myself away from that situation, because it was like a life or death situation, and I had to escape. But when I was down there, I seen things and I heard things to where, like, okay, now that I have my life back and I'm trying to jump back into the things that I love, I know what to look out for. At least I know what it looks like, and so that's one of the biggest things. I feel like the school, these teachers can help you and guide you in the right directions, and I feel like if I network really well, that they could possibly give me opportunities. I'm not saying that these teachers are gonna give all these students, give all of us, oh, let me give you an audition to this, let me give you an audition to that. I'm just saying there's always the right time, right place. There is no such thing as I don't believe in coincidence. And it depends on the situation, or it depends on what it is, but a lot of times I don't believe in coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. So you just gotta have, you know, you have to have a good eye. You gotta have to watch your back. You have to watch your back. Watch where you go, and paperwork. You gotta watch what you sign. That's the biggest thing when it comes to contracts. When it comes to, especially the music business, when it comes to contracts, you gotta read the small print on the bottom, because if you're not protected, you are screwed. So there's just so much that comes with it. I know I'm rambling. It's just like I said, I'm making these videos to help myself, and if it helps other people too, I'm very grateful for that. But I'm just saying, in general, if you want to get in the music business, acting business, voiceover, preaching, whatever. If you want to be a preacher, if you want to be a singer, if you want to be a doctor, there's schemes in any kind of, you know, different careers that you go through. Even being a nurse, you have to be careful who you talk to, be careful who you trust. It doesn't matter what profession it is. You have to have a good head. You have to be very careful. Have to have a good head on your shoulders. You gotta watch who you trust. Watch what you say a lot of times, because there are people who pretend that they're your friend or pretend that they care, and they take advantage of your good nature and take advantage of something that you told them in confidence and use it for their personal gain. You have to be very careful. And so going to New York, there's going to be a lot of ruthless things that I need to watch out for. And like I said, there'll be trial and error on my part, but I know I will grow to be a better person because of it. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I chose this school. It's one of the best schools in the country, and I wanna have somebody help me and mold me. I wanna grind. I wanna, you know, I want that hardness from a person to really like nip me in the butt to be the best that I can be. And New York is one of the best places to do that.